Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be bringing you my most anticipated releases for the first half of 2016. So this is really going to be February through June, but that's fine. Totally fine. Considering these are going in order of publication, can you guess what the first book on this list is? Morningstar by Pierce Brown, the third and final book in the Red Rising trilogy. So I was trying to actually explain what this trilogy was about to my mom. My dad and I both were, and the best way I could do it was like the Count of Monte Cristo on Mars in the future, but doing a throwback to ancient Rome, but it's also got some like Star Wars and Battle Royale and politics and all the good spy movies, and it's very complicated and it's very complex, and I really cannot do it justice just by trying to explain it here, but if you have not read this trilogy, get on it because it's such fantastic storytelling. I told my dad it was coming out in like less than 2 weeks and he was like, oh, I need to pre-order it on my Audible. So needless to say, I've at least hooked one person in my family onto it. February 16th, Calamity by Brandon Sanderson, the third and final book in his Reckoners trilogy. This is a fantastic young adult superhero slash supervillain series. Man, things went down in Firefight and I need to know what happens in Calamity, but I'm like terrified to know what happens. February 23rd, A Gathering of Shadows by Ve Schwab, the second book in the series that began with a darker shade of magic, which was on my top 15 list of 2015. This is a fantasy that is set around parallel Londons and has magic and thieves and pirates and all the good things. On March 1st, you have The Girl Who Raced Fairyland All the Way Home by Katherine Valentine. This, I believe, is the final book in the Fairyland series, which is a middle grade fantasy series that is so whimsical and so beautifully written. I highly encourage everyone to go and read it, even if you think middle grade isn't your thing. The writing is so sumptuous and it really should be a series of animated films. March 8th, Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. Just give me more Shadowhunters. I eat that stuff up. Absolutely eat it up. March 29th. The Winner's Kiss by Marie Rotowski, which is the third and final book in the Winners trilogy. I listed the first two books on my top 15 of 2015 because I said it was a great YA sort of fantasy series, but almost more of a political thriller type series. And again, things went down in the Winner's crime, and I need to know what happens, but I'm terrified of how this will all end up. I got bad feelings, guys. I got really bad feelings. On April 7th, you have Saint's Blood by Sebastian Dick. I believe this is the final book. At least it's the third book in his Great Coats series. Now, this is an adult fantasy series that I came across by accident. I somehow got the first book as a digital ARC, and it's basically a fantasy with the humor and wit and style of the Three Musketeers, and it's wicked amounts of fun, and I've really been loving this series. It's one of those kind of flies under the radar adult fantasy series that I haven't seen really anybody talk about or anybody reading, but I've been really enjoying. So I'm excited for this third book. I do believe it is only going to be a trilogy, so I think I'm right in saying it's the last book in the series. April 12th, Hamilton, The Revolution by Lin-Manuel Miranda. I haven't talked about it on this channel and be glad that I haven't. I'm kind of obsessed with the Hamilton musical. I've been pretty much telling everyone I know that it's fantastic and they need to go listen to it because, let's be real, nobody can get tickets to that. Anyway, this book is kind of all about the making of the show, and I really love stuff like that, and it just looks fantastic. I want it, so yeah, Hamilton the Revolution. If you haven't listened to Hamilton, what are you doing with your life? Go listen to Hamilton. April 26th. The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater, the fourth and final book in her Raven cycle, and guys, we've been waiting for this one. The sad part is we kind of know what has to happen, but man, we've been waiting for this one, guys. I have a feeling our hearts are going to be torn out of our chests, and we are just going to be sobbing wrecks on the floor, but it's totally fine. It's totally fine, because Maggie Stiefvater is really cool, and even if she will very likely break my heart, it's fine. On May 3rd, there's A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second book in the Court of Thorns and Roses series. I really liked the first one, which I can literally only describe as like YA fantasy erotica. I never thought I would actually use that phrase. A Court of Thorns and Roses was a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but had a lot of things involving fae culture. And I've heard the second book is going to have a Hades and Persephone kind of twist to it, so I'm interested to see where Ms. Ross goes with this series. Also on May 3rd, there's The Rose and the Dagger by Renee Attier, which is the second book in the Wrath and the Dawn series, which is her YA fantasy playing upon retelling of the 1001 Arabian Nights. I really enjoyed the first book, so I'm looking forward to getting the second, and the cover looks just as beautiful as the first one. I'm really hoping, like, you'll pull it off, and when it's the book, like, naked, will look as pretty as the first one does, and so, yeah. And finally, Summer Days and Summer Nights, which is 12 summer love stories, which is edited by Stephanie Perkins. She has done a collection like this before involving holiday romances, so this is now going to be summer romances. This is going to release on June 14th. Despite the fact that I really don't normally like romance, I seem to be actually okay with YA contemporaries. I seem to usually be alright with reading those and liking the love stories that happen in those. So I am excited for this. I loved the last collection that she edited. That is all that I have for right now off the top of my head of anticipated releases through June. I'm probably sure I forgot things. Come June, I will be filming the back half of this, in which I will list my anticipated releases of July through December. But until next time, cheers.